Hello, my friends. Welcome. It's Monday night, and while you may not be watching WWE, you're here hanging out with us.
Is WWE on Monday nights?
I thought it was. Is it not?
Monday Night Raw. Actually, I think it was.
I think it was Monday nights.
It's been forever since I watched TV, so.
I know, it's true. Anyway, hey, you guys. Welcome to Tabletop Terrain Talks, where we talk about tabletop gaming, terrain, and other nerdy things. I am kind of hyper tonight, which is fun, because it always makes for a fun show. I'm Haley Bell, and across from me is the incredible, magnanimous, wonderful tech person, Weston Bell.
I'm looking at who's behind me.
It's you.
Oh, me. So yes, hello. Thank you so very much for being here. As Haley said, I am Weston Bell, the other host and the tech person.
And my other half.
So if anything sounds weird or breaks, just put it in the chat and I'll fix it.
Just let us know, and Weston will fix it because he is a fixer, not a political fixer.
No.
If he was, we'd have a much nicer house.
Thank you very much. So tonight we have the pleasure of having Dragon Ridge Studios with us, and they're going to be talking with us about their new game. Gosh, how do I always get it wrong.
You literally just had him in your ear.
I know, and I didn't ask him how do I say it, the name of it properly. He can get mad at me right now.
It's amazing Homebrewed World.
Yes. Well, it's not a world. This is a game system. It's an
Salud, Mate Monk.
It's an awesome system, very simple, and I think really easy to run, which will be awesome if you're new into this. It's a lot simpler than Dungeons & Dragons. It's going to be a lot of fun to go over, and he's going to tell us all about how he went about building this new system and game.
Yeah, it's super exciting. But first, before we can have the sugar, we must have the medicine. A couple of announcements. We have an episode of Family Gaming Experience this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here on this channel. We are going to have Stephanie from TTRPG Kids, which is a website that curates TTRPG content, actual plays, tests, games, things like that, online, ttrpgkids.com. And we are also going to have Mark... cannot remember his last name, Mark, who has written a really awesome book about how to play D&D with your kids and integrate life lessons into the gaming experience itself. He has teenage boys, and I believe one of his sons is going to be joining us on screen on Wednesday as well, which is going to be great.
So did you just liken our announcements to drinking cold medicine?
I don't know. Did I?
Someone throw it in the chat. Does anyone find that to be a pleasant experience? I don't. So
anyway, if you've missed any of the previous episodes of the Family Gaming Experience, you can see them here on our channel. If you are a subscriber, you can get additional episodes. I think right now it is only last week's because it only goes up to 14 days.
Oh, there we go.
But if you are a subscriber, you get the last month. Or you can go over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/partyof2rpg. The link will be in the chat somewhere. It comes up eventually. It's an auto thing. Anyway, and you can see all the episodes there.
So this gives you a reason to subscribe to the channel. Yeah. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can actually do it for free using your Prime subscription. Haley's laughing.
Jerome, why do you know that cough syrup tastes like buttocks?
We are not getting into that because we try and keep a family-friendly channel.
I am just feeling. Thank you so much for the follow, Z Roundtable. I get it. Z Roundtable.
Yes.
I like it. Thank you.
And since you followed, you now get a little dragon.
You do.
There are multiple dragons
your own baby dragon
that you can choose from. You can also, for 100 bits, there are
other characters.
There are Final Fantasy characters. We got Solaris from Dark Souls. There's a couple other ones if you want something other than a dragon.
And it keeps it for you. So every time you log in, you will get that. So it's not like you pay once and then it goes away. Nope. It will always be here every time. We get to see you guys. It's very exciting. Okay, so I think that's all we have for our announcements. Let's get into today's episode of TTRPG News.
No, but we can't get into our TTRPG
But
news.
we can't because Weston has to update the date because that's what we have to do every day.
What are you talking about? Okay, let's get into it. And here we go.
Hello, Hello, and welcome to TTRPG News, where we break down the biggest news from the past week in the world of TTRPGs. If you are catching this on the VOD on our YouTube channel, please remember to like, subscribe, and share so that you can share the love of the TTRPG world with all of your friends. Because we know you don't talk about it enough.
No.
Just start sending them links. Anyway, for our first news article for today, a brand new role-playing game is about to end its Kickstarter, and it's just for couples. It looks like it's going to be a really big hit too. So get the name. It's called Lewd Dungeons Adventures. It's a role-playing game for partners focusing specifically on intimacy and bonding. Not bondage, bonding. From the creator, welcome to Lewd Dungeon Adventures, the game where dying is fun. Lewd Dungeon Adventures is a fantasy-inspired role-playing game for couples, marrying simplified classic tabletop role-playing game mechanics with adult activities. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. With 3 different ways to play, with intimate solutions, drinking solutions, so you can turn it into a drinking game, or base, normal, roll the die solutions, you and your partner can play however you feel comfortable. It comes with a core rulebook, a starter adventure with lots of options for every type of play. The initial goal for their Kickstarter was $5,000, but as of today, they have raised $195,000.
We are going to be jumping on this, I know ourselves, because this sounds fun.
Yeah, we're gonna be backing this for sure. I will get that link for you guys, and I will drop it in the chat. But the Kickstarter is only open for the next 3 days, so if you are interested in that to have something like that for your partner or whatever, get on it like now.
Yep. It's generally a D6 system, but if you do the $40 combo, you can actually get the D&D 5e compatible version. So you can get
really cool.
Your 5e and your married time together at the same time.
Your married time.
All right, in other news, ready to play as a humanoid teenager animal? I'm not saying it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because it's not. Fat Goblin really has a new TTRPG game called Teenage Mutant Dirtbag, out now, where you can get to play as a mutant animal having been raised by zealots trained to be a warrior to save the human race. However, they are teenagers and don't really have an interest in being heroes. This looks like a fun game of chaos and hilarity. Check it out on DriveThruRPG now.
Yep, it's gonna be fun. They're really not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like really.
They're Teenage Mutant Dirtbags.
They're called mutantimal. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're just going to move on.
A teenage mutant dirtbag, baby.
Nice. All right, so it has been a hot minute since we had Critical Role news, legitimately. So I was really excited when this came up through my feed today, but the new Critical Role Clue game with the Mighty Nine has officially been released, like today. From the OP publisher, also known as USopoly, this is what they said about it. Festivities are cut short in the city of Zadash as a mysterious villain targets a member of the Mighty Nine. Wow. It's up to you to uncover which hero token will reveal the member in danger, who is behind the spiteful plan, and where they are planning to strike. It is currently available now in your local shops. So this is going to be a little bit of a twist on Clue, because the person isn't already dead. This is like you are stopping the plot of the death happening. So you can save Bo.
Yes,
or
you can.
You can save Molly.
You could. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
who
it's
is
Molly.
It?
I think it's Molly. I don't think it's Caduceus.
I just want to know. I mean, how can they do this? Because we need Tim Curry.
We need to. We do need Tim Curry. You can't do Clue without freaking Tim Curry. I'm going to do this next one because I was a failure and forgot to finish writing the copy for this. But for those of you who are Elden Ring fans that wish for a closer D&D experience, you are in luck, there is actually a new mod out there for a elven ring, Elden Ring. I even wrote it right. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna do that again. For those Elden Ring fans that are wishing for a closer D&D experience, you are in luck. So the mod creates a bunch of elven spells and class features that you can add to your characters. It's a little bit closer to the D&D class of elf or elfie, high elf, whatever, however you want to say it. So if you're interested in that, you can look for it on the mod catalog for Elden Rings.
There's a lot of places probably where you can find that.
But the one that I could find was on Elden Ring's mod channel.
Okay. Cool. In other news, if you play D&D, you might not know Gen Con starts.
What?
Yep, Thursday, August 4th, Gen Con begins. So if you are a D&D fan or interested in the genre, go check it out. If you're traveling up to Gen Con, I'm jealous of you. If not, I know there are lots of online things, and we can all look forward to lots of hopefully cool news and updates at Gen Con.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that we're not going to be there.
Wanted to go to that tavern?
I did.
Yep.
I did. There's like a D&D style tavern that's been built out there, and they said that they were opening in it was going to coincide with Gen Con, so it's fine, whatever. It's okay. Fine.
So please subscribe to the channel to support our future trips to Gen Con.
We need a random cursing soundbite when Haley botches something and it's just random Yosemite Sam rambling.
I am going to go find that. Thank you, Lost Tribes Gaming. You have made my life complete. I will go find it.
I don't know if we should do that though, because like half of our show would end up being that soundbite.
Maybe get a couple of them.
Okay. Okay. Are you taking the last one?
I'll take the last one. In other convention news, Paizo has decided that they need more cons. So Paizo
have one right now.
True. So they need more.
It sounds like they had like 50.
Paizo and the Organized Play Foundation volunteers are pleased to announce PaizoCon South Pacific 2022. The Australian community will be gathering September 23rd through 25th at the Metropolitan Spring Hill in Brisbane for a return to the physical Pathfinder and Starfinder gaming. Events will feature the new interactive and special Pathfinder 2nd edition expedition into the Pallid Pearl, exclusive... can't say that right. Exclusive early access to the September scenario release and more. So tickets are available. I'm sure if you are in Australia or you are in the South Pacific there, which means that right now it is like early your morning.
It's like the middle of the night.
So you're probably watching this on VOD.
I know, because Australia's not quite awake yet.
No, they're not quite awake yet. But know that you're going to have your own PaizoCon there, so you can go check that out. I think this is really cool because...
I think it's neat, too.
It does, like you said, it makes it hard if you are on the other side of the world, you're in a very different time zone, to then attend any of the stuff going on at the conventions, even though there's a lot of online stuff. It doesn't work with time. We do need to sleep. And so having this other convention on the other side of the world, I think is a really awesome thing.
Well, and I think it's really cool because I think, and correct me, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first like US-based company that has done a like TTRPG specific con outside of their home country.
I have no idea. I do know that there will be one. There's actually one really awesome produced Pathfinder 2nd edition actual play that will definitely be there. I've got to go look who they up.
Who is it?
I don't remember their name. It was like I watched them like 2 months ago, but they were.
Oh, is it the new one?
They're really awesome. Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about because they're Australian, aren't they?
They're Aussies.
Yeah.
Aussie.
Woo.
All right.
Okay. I think that is it for tonight's TTRPG news. We love you guys.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's TTRPG news, Monday, August 1st.
Did you put something in my drink?
No, I didn't.
Did you crush up my ADHD pills and put them in my drink?
Maybe I didn't, because I don't even know
Where they are.
Nope, I didn't.
Oh my
But
gosh.
we
Hey,
want to
lowercase J.
Now, bring on and invite on our guest for tonight, the lead game designer with Dragon Ridge Studios. Let's go ahead and bring him on.
Hello, Jacob.
Hey, everybody.
Do people ever call you Jakob?
It has happened once or twice.
Haley, our youngest's name is Jacob, and
I call him Jakob. Well, it's because
Heck yeah.
my sister lived in Jerusalem for a while, so
That is so cool.
Yes, there. So
Yeah.
we both call him Jakob.
Love it. Love it.
Anyway, okay, so Jacob, you are the face of Dragon Ridge Studios here
Such as it is.
in this loveliness right now. And I know Weston has done quite a bit of research into your game and all of the different things. I know he has a couple of questions. I just want to say thank you so much for being on and for being a friend of the channel and the friend of the show, because you know that we love you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
Weston, go
super
ahead.
happy to be here. Legit. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
So the main game that you have created and been pushing for the last little bit is Legends of, is it Albadyn?
Albadyn.
Albadyn. All right, I was like,
Yeah, I need to put a pronunciation guide on the homepage.
I know the IEP of everything.
I've heard it pronounced Albadyn, which isn't too bad.
But you now
and
actually
then
have.
one of my friends was. Oh, go ahead.
But you now actually have two games using the same system but different settings. Tell me, you've got the two different games. What are they, and what's the difference?
Alrighty, so Legends of Albadyn is a fantasy dungeon crawler that I've been running for legit the past 6 years. It's in its 3rd edition, because 3rd edition has just been the strongest one we've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fantasy dungeon crawler where you are an adventurer who is a hero that has been given an amulet that prevents them from dying.
Oh, nice.
And your objective is to venture out and defeat monsters and keep the people of Albadyn safe. The new game that just launched today, legit today,
Yay, today!
Is Legends of Aranoxes, which it uses the same system, but it's a sci-fi dungeon crawler, where a world from another universe, there was a big battle, and the terraforming engine on the ship exploded and caused what's called a confluence. And so the entire world of Aranoxes was pulled out of its universe and into Albadyn's universe, and it now hangs in the sky as an ominous red star.
Oh, cool.
What's fascinating is Aranoxes' universe has the same adventurer's talisman and the same heroes that aren't able to die, but in the sci-fi universe. And so it's really cool because both games have the same basic system, which allows for cross-compatibility. Players can create a sci-fi character and another one makes a fantasy character, and they can still play together. And it is an absolute joy. We spent the last months of sessions in our Discord server testing the Aranoxes gameplay, testing out the monsters and everything like that. Everything went beautifully, and I am legit so excited to finally be able to share this with everyone.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So before we get into like all the specifics and stuff, where can people find this game and this new system?
Alrighty, so you can find both games at the same destination, which is legendsofalbadyn.com, as is pictured down there.
Crazy! It also just showed up in the chat.
Yes! Isn't it wonderful? Thank you,
It
guys.
is Divine Providence, which means you need to go there right now. Just clicky, clicky.
Clicky, clicky,
But just
guys.
open it
yeah.
up in a different tab. Don't leave here.
Don't.
Yeah,
leave
don't
us.
navigate off this one.
Don't
You
leave
don't want to miss
us.
the content.
Love you. Okay.
But, and so you can find everything you need to create your character and to play the game Legends of Albadyn in the Legends of Albadyn Compendium tab. That is correct, Axe. And you can find everything you need for Legends of Aranoxes in the Legends of Aranoxes Compendium tab.
let's go find it.
Cool.
So, here is... Oh, I lost our music, apparently.
I just want to point out, as smooth as that wasn't necessarily planned. That was just really smooth. Good job, Wes. Good job.
That was velvety.
I will take credit for that 100%.
I mean, we are so slick in this channel.
All right, so here is the site. And let me...
I will say, as a font-obsessed individual, I love this font.
Yeah, it has been the better part of 6 years of honing and refining it to get everything to look just the way I want.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful font. It's so clean. I remember the very first time that we got on your website to feature you, like, months ago on
Yeah, it was last year.
The community, whatever, that kind of died. I was so impressed with how clean the website was. I remember saying to Weston, I was like, "Oh, this is really easy to navigate."
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's pretty. So
Well,
that's just
ease of access is really my number one chase. It's what I'm after.
we understand that. Lower the barrier of entry.
Definitely.
Exactly, because that was one major reason that I made this game and made it free, was to lower those barriers of entry.
Yeah, which, guys, it's free.
Yep, everything is 100% free. You can download the documents and print them out, and you're set.
So we've got a couple of races. So you start off here by kind of identifying the races. I'm seeing humans. Now, one thing we do need to start with, this is not based on D&D 5e. This is a D6 system. So don't look at these numbers and think D&D or any other system like that. These are very different as far as your number systems go. And so you've got here 12 HP for movement. And then,
You got it.
Yep, for attack.
Attack speed.
I attack speed. Okay, I'm looking at AS and just coming up with things that are inappropriate for this channel.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I've heard it all. But if you want me to explain that, I definitely can.
Please do.
Yep, let's go ahead. Yeah, because that's it's an interesting system. So go ahead and start with kind of how characters work.
So how characters work is you've got your 3 core stats. It's not like a lot of games out there where you've got like 15 different things that you're kind of having to manage. Legit, all you've got is your health, which is your HP, your movement speed, and your attack speed. Movement speed, as is, kind of a given, determines how far you can move, but attack speed determines how many attack dice you get to roll on your turn. It's how many times you can try to hit your enemy.
Wait,
so for human...
Wait, why did everybody start dancing?
Because they love
dragons
me.
started dancing. What just happened?
Someone followed us.
Oh, thank you for the follow. I'm like, I look over the screen and suddenly all the dragons are dancing. I'm like, what's happening?
No.
I don't know. For some reason, we're not getting the little pop-up thing. I'll have to work on that later. But yeah, so we just had someone follow. It is Vendoland.
Thank you so much for following Vendoland.
Yeah, Vendo is one of my best friends, so I'm super happy to see him.
Vendo, look at you supporting your friend and supporting us. Thank you.
But, so with attack speed, that determines how many attack dice you get, and you just roll them when you're trying to attack, and it resolves with a d6. Your class determines your 2-hit, which we'll get there when we get there.
Yes.
And then you roll d6 for the damage, unless your weapon says otherwise.
Okay.
That's legit all there is to it. And
That's really simple.
beautiful.
So when you're GMing this, do you...
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's it called? Remember, it's not GMing. What's the person called?
The director.
Director.
Like a play. I like it. As you're directing this, do you do you have the players describe what they're doing, and then like it's like this whole flavor thing, but then the attack die is like it? Or do you like do it?
We've got multiple ways that resolves. So with just attacks, we usually roll the attack dice, and then I describe what happens based on the results, which has led to some really comedic moments where somebody like throws like 8 attacks, and somehow I successfully defend all of them for the monster. And so I'm like, your arrows just harmlessly plink to the ground.
Oh man,
And there's
that's
always
gotta
this
be
kind
so
of
annoying.
this growl of despair that usually goes up when that happens because they know they're going to be there for a minute. But
I get that.
the legendary system has a unique feature, which is called the interact roll.
Okay.
And so how that works is you say what you want to do. A great example of this is from our last session, where one of our players has the spell Sanguinary Control, which is like a blood control spell.
I was about to say, blood? What?
Yep. And so they decided that to deal with the enemy that they were fighting, that they were going to use their magic to control the blood in the room, and just turn it all into missiles to blow her up. Sounds reasonable, but the problem was he wasn't specific, and actually did say all the blood in the room.
That's like his blood and any of the party's blood? That's like everybody's blood.
TPK.
Oh,
so,
no.
At that point, I give him the option. You can do an interact roll, which you use all of your actions, all of your attack speed, all of your movement speed, and you roll the dice. If it's a success, what you want pops. If it's not, what you don't want pops. And so I legit told him, if you roll a 1, everyone dies.
Did he roll
I have
one?
never heard someone so happy to roll a 2. This man yelled, "It's a 2!"
That would be so scary.
It was one of the highlights of my directing career. I'm not even kidding. It was
Well,
one
and
of
that's
the
awesome.
That's actually one of the cool things about a lot of times in games, it can be very specific. Like the way a spell works, so that can be so specific.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're not that specific, you as the player have to be a bit more specific with what you're doing with it. And that can lead to some really interesting stuff when you're not very specific on what your spell's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair though, he did great because that was his first session ever. Like he had never played a tabletop. He had never played a tabletop game at all.
Ever of not just of your system, but like ever.
My game is the
that's
first
fun.
one that he ever played, and
That's
that was
fun.
the only mistake he made. Legit, he
That's
did
awesome.
great. It's
That's
just
awesome.
that natural one would have killed everyone and actually blown up half of the continent because of one of our characters has energy for blood.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That was exciting.
Yeah, I think you kind of detail this under your how to play. So it's under their how to play section, where it kind of details out these different mechanics.
Yeah.
So we got health points, which we're talking about everyone dying. So you die by getting the 0 health points, right?
But you have the thing, so you don't die, right?
Exactly. That's the thing is, character death is not permanent unless you as a player want it to be.
You awaken
I like
in the
that.
nearest temple with a slight headache. See, this is actually more
This is-
what Dark Souls, TTRPG of Dark Souls would have been like, because you wake up at the bonfires instead of having a TPK or something like that. It's there's a lot of video game-ness to that. But the thing I like about that is it's going to get your players to be less cautious.
Yeah.
And so then they might just throw themselves into things, which can make things really funny.
Immortality is
Oh
fun.
yeah.
We're
It
basically
is.
gods.
Yeah. You can then turn yourself into a goldfish and jump off a cliff.
It's fine.
To thyself be true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Please tell me, Jacob, you know what we're talking about.
I believe so, but I'm rusty.
Keyleth from
It's
Critical
Critical
Role.
Role campaign 1.
Campaign 1. Long
No,
time ago.
I don't know that one.
She
I do
jumps
not know
off a
that one.
cliff when they're like level 18 and says we're basically gods, and then Matt figures out exactly what damage
Well,
she got.
She jumps off a cliff and it's supposed to be down to water. So she changes into a fish. A little goldfish or something like
And
that.
they were all thinking, because they said change into like a fish. They were all thinking like a whale or something. And she turns into an effing goldfish.
But here's the problem: is that she doesn't think about from that height slamming into water. It doesn't really
You hit
matter.
critical mass.
You hit critical velocity. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And so it not only, it's polymorph. She has like 1 hit point.
She
So then it
lost
also
her hit
goes through
points.
all of her. It also goes through all of her regular hit points. She's completely dead. They have to revivify her.
No. Laura had a necklace that would save her. Yeah, it was anyway, it's a Critical Role thing from campaign 1. It's fine. We can move on.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
movement speed. Now you're not 30 feet. So these are like you're working with shorter math here. A lot simpler on the mathematics side because you have generally it looks like it's up to 4. Are there some classes that have more than 4 movement?
Pardon? Sorry, I
got distracted by chat. That's my bad.
Chat will do that.
Chat does.
I was asking. So a lot of things I saw was you kind of have an average of 4 movement speed. Are there races or classes that have more than 4 on the movement speed?
Oh Lord, yes. The Bestium racial subset Harpy, which actually allows you to play a Harpy. Your movement speed is 10.
What
you legit turn into a ping pong ball.
That's awesome. So what kind of Harpy are we talking about here? Because I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that have a vision of a Harpy and then like a vision of a real life Harpy, so we need to distinguish.
Well,
we're not talking about a Karen human, right?
No. Why would I do that? But in complete honesty, as far as the mythological beast Harpy, we're talking a humanoid with bird wings, either coming from their shoulders or their arms count as the bird wings. But it's entirely up to the player what kind of Harpy they want to be. I mean, if you want to be a Harpy with freaking flamingo wings, that's entirely up to you. I'm not going to stop you.
Oh, you just got Haley all excited.
I want flamingo wings. I want penguin wings so that I can do that meme where he just smacks the other penguin.
But then you can't fly, can you? Like, but you guess maybe give him a swim speed, Yeah,
there are cheat codes for these things.
So it's number of spaces. We're not dealing with 30 feet. We're not dealing with feet. It's this many spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Just purely for the tabletop game, a lot of people don't like using boards, and so in previous things when I've been talking about it, a square, like for your movement speed, is equal to 2 inches on tabletop. Yep. So a movement speed of 4 is a movement speed of 8 inches, which is really respectable in terms of things.
Do you sorry, I might be getting a little Warhammer in this. Do you like actually take out like a measuring tape and say this is this many inches, and then you move your guys? So it's like Warhammer.
Yes. I've done that before. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I made that an option, is because I realized there are a lot of people who really like doing it that way, and there's literally nothing stopping me from making that an option.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah, because I know Haley's dad does a lot more of the war games, and those they do a lot of times have the rulers. They're not working necessarily off just a grid system like that, and that leaves it open for whatever you like to use, go right ahead.
Well, and whatever angle you want to go to anything. Yeah.
And then attack speed is how many dice your character can use. Now, I was a little confused by this mechanic on how exactly it worked, because you had your say you had a 4 attack speed, but here you give examples of they're only using 2 attacks. I don't understand why you'd ever only use 2 attacks when you have 4. So I don't think there's something I'm missing.
Okay. To give an example, firstly, how to play has been one of my most problematic sections to update, because it has changed so little since first edition, but all of the changes are very significant. And so it's legitimately just changing 2 words to make it what I want it to be. But if I choose the wrong 2 words to go there, meaning gets lost.
Copy is very important.
Copy is very important.
So with this, we use that as an example because there were a lot of people when we were first starting to branch out the play group that thought if you were attacking, you had to use all attacks at once. And as being outnumbered is a relatively common occurrence, it's important to emphasize that you can split your attacks. Especially once you get into higher level content. One of my players right now just built his character out so he's got 16 attack speed. And so you could absolutely just dump 16 dice into a single bandit and power to you. But
they're probably dead after 4.
Oh yeah. And so with this example, it showcases that you can split your attacks. So if you've got 16 and there are 4 bandits, you can throw 4 dice each.
So generally, the style of this, then when I'm thinking about it, this is not generally, the D&D style where you've got, your party of 4 and you maybe have a equivalent number of bad guys. This is more like playing Diablo, where you walk down in there and there's like this horde trying to funnel its way to you through this dungeon, and you're just going to start trying to mow them down.
Hey, I was playing Diablo
absolutely
before
correct.
we went live.
I noticed that, which made me happy.
I like it.
So what happened legit last session was the party of 5. We had 5 people there. Was going up against a assault force from the sci-fi world, from Arnox's. And they had 10 infantry, a commander, and 2 tanks that they had to deal with.
Oh, geez. And
Yeah.
they're fantasy creatures?
Yes.
And they're attacking tanks.
Get them, Harpy.
They did absurdly
Fireball!
well.
Fireball
One of my
taking it out.
characters legit turned into a 12-foot tall godlike being and just stabbed it.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I
cool.
love that. That's awesome.
I love Last Tribe's game is like it's fantasy kung fu fighting and flying by wires. You're going all over the place.
I love it.
It's kind of like then, I like in this. I like anime. It's like the anime characters, fighting the mobs. They just like, I swipe once with my sword and 5 die.
Yeah. I mean, that has happened a couple times, but the single most impressive moment actually wasn't the tank getting stabbed. The most impressive moment was the commanding officer for the assault force got teleported by one of the players into the middle of our group.
Oh.
And so only one of the players has any turns left. I thought this was a terrible plan. And so Toads, who's one of our dev team members and is also, he's one of the greatest people I know. His character runs circles around the boss using the skill Warlord's Charge to triple his damage. Lands a single attack for 10 and then just picks the man up and throws him across the battlefield, killing him instantly.
Oh my god.
And that was all just using rules interactions. There was no interact roll or anything. That's actually how it worked. It was beautiful.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
I'm just
I love
talking. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, that's perfect.
So you get to use, so the number of attack speed is the number of attacks you get in a turn. And you can split those up however you want between the number of enemies that are there. And then damage die is based on the weapon that you've got. You said?
So damage die, yeah. Every character starts off that you roll. So let's say you hit 3 times, and none of them are defended. You would roll 3 damage dice. Some weapons have a keyword which is True Strike, which means it always does a set amount of damage.
Okay.
And so some of the True Strike weapons, like one of the raid weapons that we've got for this is top tier content, is called Death Fang, and it gives you hit on 2s and have True Strike 10.
Okay.
So you will always do 10 damage, and you just have to not roll a 1. And you're going to hit. All right, then.
To be fair, this Hydra can eat you in 1 bite, so...
Oh, jeez. For the love.
You go through it to get it, but once you get it, you're set.
So, and from what I understand, though, this is one thing, you do competing rolls. So this is not just I roll and I hit you, and because that's what your AC is. This is competing rolls on every interaction for attacks and stuff like that.
That is 100% correct.
Okay. I like that. I don't know if you've ever seen the Witcher TTRPG. For that, it's everyone does attack and then there's a dodge. So it's always competing rolls on that one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun because sometimes it's boring when you sit there and the monster's attacking you and you actually don't do anything. You just sit there and let it happen to you.
It's
this
very
makes
passive.
you feel like you did something, even if you get hit. You felt like you did that. It happened to you, not I was just stuck because of his role.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Cool.
Now,
Should we go through some of the other races?
sure, we can go back.
Yeah, I'm like, we started with races and then we jumped into mechanics.
Well, the how to play kind of starts off first, and then knowing that makes it a lot easier, I think, to understand the races. Because now you start with humans, and now we know you've got 12 HP, 4 movement, and 4 attacks that you can do on each turn starting.
Indeed.
Cool. Okay.
Golden Elf.
Elves.
Yep. Yeah, they live in the treetop cities of Gyla's lands. Gyla is the Archon who created them, which the Archon are like the angels of Albadyn, and indeed of like all of the universes that are involved at this point.
Cool. Are they like Tolkien elves?
So Golden Elves are they have the agelessness and the immunity to disease, but that's just because when their Archon created them, she only made 10 of them. And so it's kind of continued from there, because she obviously made more later to avoid anything uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But, and so they have way more of the creation energy in their bodies than the other races do.
Oh, cool. I like it.
Then we got dwarves. So you got your classic, trio there: humans, elves, and dwarves. Dwarves and gnomes have a lower movement speed and a lower attack speed, but definitely had higher HP on this. And then what's this next one?
The Givrai.
The what?
Givrai.
Givrai.
Okay, I gotta admit, I love the name. What the heck is this thing?
So they're functionally a tiefling analog.
Wait.
I sense I've made a mistake.
How
No, you
do
haven't.
you
That's
how
not
do
a
you
mistake.
how do you say that word? The one that started with a T?
Tiefling.
Do you call it tiefling?
Tiefling.
Okay, so here's
I
the
never
problem.
heard it pronounced. I'd been saying it that way for years by the time I heard it pronounced any other way.
The only problem that I have with that pronunciation is that word is not of German origin, from what I understand. I could be totally wrong. If it's from German origin, then I've been saying it wrong my entire life. And you're saying it right. But I've
That
always
would
said
be
tiefling.
awkward. A lot of people do. I know I'm the weirdo in that
I
situation.
think they're only called
I own that.
tieflings. I think they're only called tieflings in the Star Wars universe.
No, those are TIE fighters.
Oh, that's a good.
Okay, so
It depends on if they fight things or throw things.
Yep.
If they throw things, they're a tiefling.
Tiefling.
That's great.
Are they flinging the ties though?
It's like
Okay,
Just
so
like stick
RX
a TIE
is saying
fighter
it's-
in a catapult and yeet.
Yes, they're on the trebuchets. That's what's on them. RX is saying it's tiefling. I'm sorry.
There's a bit of
I will
debate
stop.
about this one.
I will
It's okay, Jacob.
Oh,
You
it's
just stepped
totally
in a
fine.
bit of a debate on that. I think it's less of a debate because it's more like Haley having studied multiple languages and the way you say things. She's like,
Wait a
I want to
second.
know.
I'm like, the language rules say that. But okay, sorry. Anyway, moving on. We don't have to like.
So these are your
Cool.
equivalent of a tiefling.
Yeah. They.
What's the lore that I wonder with generally in other TTRPGs, the lore of a tiefling is that they are, have some demonic ancestry. What's the lore for your world?
Well, this is actually something that we've known for a while, but you guys are actually going to be the first ones to hear it and to introduce it to internet land. So
Exclusive here on Tabletop Terrain Talks.
exactly. So the Givrai actually are not native to Albadyn. They came through a confluence years prior.
They're aliens?
Pretty much. They came from a different world when they were banished with their god, the Forgotten One.
Ooh.
And so the Forgotten One is slumbering. Nobody knows where he is.
Because he's forgotten.
And his servant guides the Jivrai. His servant is the Asani, who's the wish granter. And the Jivrai have lived underground pretty much the entire time. Only in the past 30 years in-game have they actually come out of the Maw, which is this giant cavern crater thing, and started interacting with other people. But they're very, unlike a lot of the races in Albadyn who they acknowledge the Arkan, but they're just the Arkan. The Jivrai are the Forgotten One is the G.
They are very religious.
Yes, they are devout because they understand how things are.
Nice.
And
but are they do they have tails and horns and wings in different colors?
you can customize them. You can customize them out as you wish.
Cool.
One of our players has one with the bat wings and the long tail and the goat legs. And most of mine just have the horns.
I like the horns and the tail. I personally, Anna's character.
Cat.
I'm playing a tiefling right now. I know.
My cat is just reaching his arm under the door like, let me in!
Oh, poor kitty.
And then we have the
Valier. Wait, which one was right?
Vahalir.
Oh, okay. So
Boom.
you were closer than I was. Nice.
And they are
These names are really freaking cool.
shorter than 6. Oh, they're tall. Pale,
Yes.
blonde people. Do not have horns or pointed ears. They cannot miss.
They're incredible height. They're Goliaths without gray
Yeah.
skin.
Pretty much, they're just big old Vikings.
I
They're
like
they're from Skyrim.
it. Yes. Because everyone in Skyrim
No,
is
sorry,
massive.
Skyrim belongs to the Nords, not the Vahalir.
There we go.
Okay.
That's not what the Imperium has to say.
You guys went a little too nerdy
Sorry.
for me there. Not following.
Damn, and then we got
Skyrim stuff.
orcs.
Don't worry.
I'm just looking at the stats on those
Yep.
orcs. Why would I play anything but an orc?
Hide them from dinosaurs.
Firstly, because of just
Oh my gosh.
most people don't realize just how absolutely absurd the orc stats are. And
Those
secondly,
things.
most people don't play orcs.
They don't want to
don't
be
know
an
why.
orc.
That's a 16 HP with a 6 movement and a 5 attack speed. Heck, I'd play an orc every single time.
And you're more than
Oh,
welcome to.
They never cut their hair unless they fulfill their blood oath or have been
That's fun
dishonored.
lore.
Oh, I like that. That reminds me a lot of Blight. But when the orc dude is the cop buddy partner and he's not
Oh,
blooded.
right. Yeah.
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 Right.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
that movie.
I
love
know.
that movie.
Bright. It's not Blight. It's Bright. Yeah, they were supposed to do a second one of that movie. And
They talk
never
about that they're still going to.
did.
They talk about they're still going to. They did an animated.
They're still gonna do another one.
They did an animated series that takes
Wanna
place
focus
in
on now.
feudal Japan of the same world.
What? Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
I want Will Smith
watched
and
that.
Tom, whatever, in it.
You're not going to get Will Smith probably after he slapped. What's his name?
Oh, I forgot he was disgraced by Hollywood. That's sad.
Then we got Dark Elves.
Which, fun fact about that, with the Dark Elves, unlike a lot of games, we actually put them in a coastal island chain. Like the Caribbean kind of deal.
So yeah,
With-
it's not so much Dark Elves because we live down deep in the dark and we're evil. It's more of a dark-skinned elf.
Well, yeah, and their culture is informed both by elements of French culture, pirate culture, and the culture of India.
Ooh. So very Caribbean, but with an India influence there.
Exactly. It's just amazing.
Sorry, side tangent. I just found an article that said officially, because of the Slapgate, they have scrapped Bright too. Specifically because of that. Stupid. Anyway, moving on.
So I mean, there's so much more we could go through here with your system, but everyone can get this all for free.
Yes.
by just going to the website. I would recommend there because there's quite a bit to read through. It's not a complicated system. Your bestiaries here, your classes are here, your game mechanics are all here. Is there anything they need beyond what you have here to just get started playing?
Legit just dice.
And only D6s. You said there were some weapons that did use other than D6.
No.
RX, are you serious right now?
Everything uses 6-sided die. Our entire system is built around that.
You can get a set of 6 D6s from the Dollar Tree for $1.25.
Exactly.
I'm just wanting to.
And as one additional thing with the whole it's free and everything like that, we made it PDFs so you can just download it and print it out, so you've got it as a book. And the game is fully solo compatible.
Yep.
Solo compatible?
You can just sit down and play it by yourself.
Oh, I like that. There aren't very many solo games that are also playable with like other people. They're normally like written as a solo game.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I took care when I was first creating this to make sure that it could do both. And we've got player versus player, so if you want to fight the homies, you can fight the homies. You're down for whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Here we've got, just to go through kind of real quick the different sections, we've got Legends of Albadyn Compendium, which is your fantasy world.
Albadyn.
Come on.
Albadyn.
Yeah. Albadyn.
That's still not the worst.
Nope. Legends of Aranaxis. Compendium, which is going to give you your sci-fi setting. Then the Arcane Library. I'm guessing that's where we got our spells and such.
Yep. What a jump from Lost Tribes.
I know. That was really high.
That was a bomb.
That was a bomb.
Jumping a bomb.
That was a
Project Guild War. What is that?
We allow in-game guilds. We actually have a guild leaderboard in our Discord server. My guild is currently at the top. And
Insider trading.
No, second place is jumping me, actually. They just haven't played in a while, so I'm able to rest on my laurels a little bit. But you can make your own guild, you can buy a guild hall, you can customize it, which gives your characters that are part of that guild big perks. There's guild PvP, guild PvEVP. Like, it's a whole thing.
How many enemies are you killed with that? Player
Yeah,
versus enemy versus player.
Okay, no, I got it. It took me a second.
And then the Wandering Hero quests.
Those are targeted for solo players because they are low difficulty, and so it's just you versus like 2 or 3 enemies. But they're also a really good way to grind gold if you need the money to get that next legendary item.
So you're kind of like. So you can do that as like this is my character, I'm playing in this campaign, but then like you can do that kind of stuff on the side as long as your director is okay with it to get money.
100%. Yeah.
That's awesome.
This
I forget
feels very video game influenced. People definitely who enjoy video games would enjoy this type of stuff because this very much reminds me of, okay, I have my raid here, but then I'm going to go level grind a little bit and get some better equipment and then head back into a guild raid. And then we're going to go raid together.
That's true.
It's very World of Warcraft that way, very...
Neverwinter was like that when
yeah,
we were playing.
but instead you get to do it on tabletop instead of having to go buy a $60 video game.
Precisely. That was always the intent, was to capture that feeling, but at very little cost to the end user.
That's so awesome.
That is nice, because I've always had, I've played some MMORPGs. I've never really gotten into them a ton, because it's always like, okay, well, I got to have a bunch of friends who are also going to go spend this money. And since the friend I have who I would play things with is my wife, that pretty much means I have to buy 2 versions of the game. It's $120.
Yeah, that's why
maybe I'm not going raiding.
We just bought Diablo 3 specifically because we could play together. on the Switch.
Yeah. And so that's okay. And then War of the Worlds long-term event. That sounds like your bigger party. No, you don't call them parties. Warband.
Yep, we do. Oh, Warband, yes. Warband is for the PvP. And Party is for the player versus director.
Okay.
Cool.
And then you got pets and companions. So is there a class then that uses pets, or does everybody have an option for that?
If you want a pet, you can have a pet.
All right. So again, very much like that MMO style, to where you can go and you can buy the pets and things like that. And then we've got your dungeons, bosses, and curated content.
So what is that?
Yep, that's where all the quests... So that's where all of your quests, campaigns, raids are, including the 2 most popular downloads on our website, which is the Nightmare Dungeon against Bulgamarek and the Nightmare Dungeon against Viraz Regalth.
Okay, I just have to say your names are incredible.
So
And you say them so just like off the tongue that it's like, oh yeah. And it's like this incredible name. And I'm like sitting here like, oh my gosh.
which that's actually, I wanted to kind of just show them around so where they know where to go on your site for some different things. And then I did want to kind of jump into just generally, how did you start this process of building the setting, deciding on the mechanics you wanted to use and stuff like that? Because a big part of TTRPGs and the fun of it is that you can go change things, you can homebrew, you can create your own settings. You've done an amazing job here creating a lot of depth. And so I just wanted to kind of talk through that a little bit. Now we are getting
Absolutely.
Close to having been on the interview for 40 minutes or so. Do we need to take a quick break and then come back and finish it off with that, or is everyone still good?
I'm fine.
You are awesome. You are fine. I need a break.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and then we will come right back.
Oh wait, I want to explain to RX really quick what Slapgate was. Slapgate with Will Smith was when Chris Rock made in my opinion, a fairly normal joke that was about Jada Pinkett, about alopecia. Will Smith laughed, looked over at Jada. Jada was like, I don't like this. And Will was like, I gotta be man. And he walked up on the stage and slapped Chris Rock in the face.
Will Smith was legit, and I took that personally.
Yeah. So that's what happened. You can kind of tell my bias on the situation, but yeah.
It definitely changed some things.
It pretty much destroyed Will Smith's career. Which is really sad. Anyway, that's Slapgate. And we're going to go on a break.
And going on that break.
Okay, we'll be right back. You just wanted to show that off.
No, I need to be.
It's a little red dragon. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure that Jacob is there. Jacob, are you there?
He can't hear us on this.
Oh, okay.
He can hear us. We just can't hear him.
We cannot hear you. That is fine.
Okay,
Gosh,
so...
it's so cute, babe. Where did you... Was this on Canva?
Yeah, this is the same dragon. So, Jacob, I can see you. If you're ready for us to start up again, give me a thumbs up. We're good. All right, Haley, you ready?
Okay.
And...
Welcome back. Did you guys love the little dragon that was being chased by the knight? Because, like, we loved it. I love it.
It was absolutely adorable.
Because dragons are, like, becoming our thing.
I wonder
Anyway.
why. It's not like, there aren't a bunch of them right now.
It's not like the co-creator of the channel is obsessed with dragons or anything. Anyway.
Yeah, dragons are awesome.
They are, and they're so much fun. We are watching a new show on Netflix called The Silver Dragon, and it's really lame. The fire drake. The Silver Dragon. It's super lame, but it's a dragon. It's cute.
That is a shining endorsement if ever I've heard one.
It is a kids show, definitely made for the kids.
Yeah, it's not like the Sea Beast that was like actually really good and like had these deep like emotional moments and like I don't mind that my kids want to watch it literally 3 times a day, but this one is definitely gonna be a nope.
We should do an episode where we just review fantasy kids shows. And
I
we
would
just,
watch
like,
that.
Here's
Oh my
fantasy
gosh,
kid
yes.
shows to watch that you will want to sit and watch with your children. And so we'll
Not
give you our
killing.
list. And we'll have to do one of those.
That, and then
That
we
is
could
a
do one
great
about
plan.
anime fantasy. Because I like
Oh, I
fantasy.
got you on that one. I got you on that one.
Okay,
So
world building.
yes, you definitely sounds like there's a lot of depth you created of lore here in your world. You went and created your own system in order to play all this in. How did this start? Where did this kind of come from?
There are multiple answers. The most important ones are the emotional answer and the just logical answer.
Yep.
Emotionally speaking, all of this really happened for 2 reasons. One, I could not afford any tabletop games when I was growing up.
They are expensive.
And, like, this is early 2000s. Early 2000s, I could get like $10 a month for for spending on whatever I wanted. And that would have meant saving for 6 months to get a single book, which wouldn't have even been enough to play the game.
Yeah.
And so that was really rough.
Yeah.
That was rough because I always wanted to, but I could never afford it. But my mom played D&D at the OG tables.
Oh.
Like back in AD&D, like the original stuff.
Okay.
And she remembered enough of it to run me and my sister through a campaign. And that was one of the big formative moments of my childhood, was getting to run through a tabletop campaign with a couple of dice and some shiny rocks and this big map that Mom had drawn by hand exhaustively on the back of this one of those big business calendars.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever we would enter a new area, she would just flip the page and there would be another area.
Oh, that's cool.
That is freaking ingenious.
And I still remember the most annoying thing of it was I was playing a halfling character.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my favorite part from the entire campaign because there's this one guy who's Prince Regas. He was the protagonist for the DM's side. And so he walks up to my character and he always acts like a super airhead in public. And so the two went, "Do you play the lute, the flute, or are you just playing cute?" And like,
Oh, wow.
I was dying laughing
gosh.
about that for days.
Oh, that's so bad. I love
How old were you? I mean, in this.
Gosh, I was like 8,
Okay.
it.
maybe.
Okay.
I was still short. I remember that much.
You were so
I
short.
gauge everything by that because I'm like 6'5" now.
Oh wow.
See, some of us are always short.
Yeah, I'm not in that category, love.
No, you're not.
I'm
I am.
sorry. Anyway.
But and so those were the two like main things, was that I always had a love for it and I always wanted it, but I could never afford it, which is why Albadyn is free. Because no one should ever have to choose between my game and a meal.
That's so sweet.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
That's
interrupt.
like so sweet. I'm gonna write it down. That's gonna go into chat. No, like on the YouTube channel. Anyway, go ahead.
And so, from a logical perspective, like a lot of people in my generation, I wanted to make video games. And then I had a nervous breakdown because of my coding class.
Oh.
Which coding? What were you?
Java. JavaScript.
Oh, JavaScript.
It's an 8-week course. We were on week 7 and I was still doing week 2's work.
Oh, it's rough, man. I had to watch him do all of that. He did all of that.
I came to realize that's not how this dream is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I legit sat down and I was just playing with action figures with my sister. And we started building an adventuring party, which consisted of a bandit that was adventuring to commute her sentence, paladin, a gangster, a farmer, and his sister. That was our original party.
Okay.
And that was where we started building the world. And then August 16th of 2016, first edition was born. Fully copyrighted, published into the world.
That's awesome. Was that like a really emotional moment for you when you hit publish on that?
Yes. It was the fulfillment of a lifelong dream.
So where did you put it first? Like,
first place ever was legendsofalbadyn.wordpress.com.
all right.
Oh, it's WordPress.
Yep.
Oh, back in the day
And
when
so
those blogs were like still okay to have it say like .wordpress.com.
Yeah, it's see the thing is Albadyn is free, which means my development budget was 0.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like getting all of the necessary legal stuff covered took precedence, and so I just found legit the first website service that let me do it for free, and I was like, "You're the one!"
You're
and
like,
so
there. Yep.
and then we published it at 7:30 a.m. on August 16th.
It's like, Weston, are you hearing the similarity to giving birth to a child? Is like, the date, the time, where you were, how you felt. Like, it's the same as an author, like a novelist. I get that because I remember exactly where I was the first time I ever wrote the words "the end."
Yeah.
Like, that was such a big deal for me. So I get that. Like, that's so cool. Anyway, sorry, moving on.
And so first edition was a completely different game. Not gonna lie. It was the highest hit point total in the entire game was 15. Your standard player character had 3 hit points. You could only do 3 things per turn, which I now realize is similar to Pathfinder.
Yep.
That 3 action economy.
Yep.
It's not bad. It's good.
And character death was so frequent that I actually had several people who would have been beta testers. They actually watched me play it and they were like, "Nah."
You don't want to die that much.
And so I'm
Apparently
like,
we're Dark Souls fans.
No.
Dark Souls fans would be like, kill me more.
I mean,
Oh my god.
it's accurate enough though.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
And so several of the original informing, inspirations for Legends of Albadyn's gameplay were games like Diablo, Sacred 2. I don't know if either of you
Yes, I do
remember
know
that
Sacred.
one.
Okay.
And there were several anime inspirations, which was Sword Art Online, just purely the sense of oppressiveness in the combat.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that the bosses and the encounters worked, that was really informative to the design process. And so the thing is that with game design, at least for me, you can find inspiration just about anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a fully immersive experience.
What did you start with first as you were going through and editing and, creating the newer iterations? You say that it was like totally different, the first edition versus the later ones. Is it because did you change lore things or did you change mechanics? Like when you went from 1 to 2 and then to 3, what were you changing along the way?
So the major lore changes happened between first and second.
Okay.
Because first edition, you still had the amulets, but there were entire races and classes and scientific advancements that existed in first edition that do not exist moving forward. For instance, there were Gunslingers in first edition Albadyn.
Why did you take them away?
Because they were broken.
Well, okay, that makes sense.
The Gunslinger was absurd in its purest form. Other classes included the Pirate, which Pirate stayed in the game until 2.5.
Okay.
And 2.5 is when we changed to the movement speed and attack speed system. We were on the 3-action economy until 2.5. But Pirate left because their ability was vanilla, which that's not what you want with a pirate.
No.
Wait,
and
no.
so I kept
Define that explanation, vanilla. What do you mean by that describer?
utterly basic and uninteresting.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing unique about it.
You can get vanilla ice cream anywhere.
That's true.
The basic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basic gist of that.
It's vanilla
And
ice
so-
cream when you don't add anything to it.
Yeah, no sprinkles, no syrups.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
ice cream in a bowl.
Champion fighter in D&D is vanilla.
I wouldn't know.
That's paladin.
No. A fighter subclass is called the champion,
Oh.
and it's considered your like straight up classic, just vanilla fighter for D&D.
Vanilla.
Yeah.
You guys, just if you don't like vanilla, you don't have to go there.
That's funny considering you generally
Well-
get chocolate. I get vanilla.
Okay, that's true.
I love vanilla. I'm just utilizing it in the standard
Yeah.
parlance.
But not
of
for a
the industry.
pirate.
Do you know what's funny though? Because I think there are some characters. I'm sorry, we're totally going like off topic here, but there's some people who like to play like really straightforward, simple characters, like me. My character isn't simple, but my like class is always. I don't want to sit here and have to spend a ton of time figuring out what spell I'm gonna do and what to pick in the mornings. But like I just am like big hammer, hit bad guy. Woohoo!
Yeah. Well, and see, the great thing with Albadyn is that you can be as absurdly complicated or as flat out simple as you want.
Well, and
Because Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, and with the system's very straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah. And that was something that I fought to maintain through every edition, through every iteration. And it got really sketchy towards the beginning of 3rd edition.
Yeah. Why?
Because 2.5 was a disaster.
Oh. Explain
We
disaster.
actually had-
Describe disaster.
Okay, so first off, we actually had a book launch with every edition.
Oh, okay.
The books are horribly outdated, but they're still out there on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
Ooh.
So what happened was when my person that did my proofreading at the time was proofreading the 2.5 edition book, they didn't realize that how you level up your character wasn't in the book.
Oh my goodness, really? Oh
So
dear.
they told me everything's fine. And I'm like, okay, that's why you're here. You're here to tell me if something's wrong and I'll fix it. So you said everything's fine. Publish.
Everything's fine. Oh dear.
And so this guy actually reaches out to me on Facebook. He's like, yeah, man, love the book. Got a question though. How do I level up my character? I'm like, it's in the how to level section. The what?
There isn't one.
And so I go through the file and I'm like, no!
That's
It
horrifying.
was a disaster. Because the monsters were unbalanced, the classes were unbalanced. You didn't know how to level up your character, which meant it was just a fiasco.
Oh man, that sucks.
Balance is a hard thing, and balance really, from what I've seen, balance is the only really important thing. You can have a system that is based off of flipping a dice. I mean, not dice, but a coin.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as it's balanced, you can
Fun
play.
can still be had.
Yeah. That's freaking hard.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, so you have this like disastrous moment. Did you like pull stuff? Or did you just be like, okay, we're gonna rewrite this really fast?
Well, see, the thing was, is I took it down, updated it, put the how to play in it, and re-uploaded it.
Okay.
And it was around that time that I started just looking kind of with dissatisfaction at 2.5. Because 2.5 is when we revolutionized the entire combat and movement system, revamped the entire action economy. And at that time, it was just me. I didn't have a dev team.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've actually got a group of people who I work on with this stuff. And we're just like a couple of guys scattered across the country, just making this thing because we're passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was just me. And so I'm in college. It's getting toward finals. And I'm looking at my game with that look where I'm going to change you radically as soon as I'm done with this term paper. Hold on.
Oh no!
And
don't
so-
do it. No.
Oh my gosh, yep, 5 years of that on this side, but my term papers were recitals and concerts, and it was like, as soon as this show is done, I will be all yours.
I love what RX says here, and this sounds like a parent to a child. When an addition fails, I'm not angry at you, just disappointed.
It's an accurate assessment for sure.
That's awesome.
And so the beauty part of the entire deal, though, is that because everything's on a website, this monster is too strong. Edit, change, done. Fixed. It's not like with, D&D or with Warhammer, God forbid, where this is really unbalanced. Oh well, it's just the way it is for a while.
Yeah. We're not
And so-
reprinting all of these, and
yeah.
then you can't get them out to people. And
Well, I mean, that's an interesting thing of where, as technology moves forward and as independent creators for tabletop content and whatnot, you can just like switch stuff out really quickly and really easily if it's like produced and published online only. I know that Wizards of the Coast has done some editing on their books in like D&D Beyond, and they just have to wait until the next edition to have the edits in the actual physical books.
Yeah, and for us, unless it's something that radically changes an element of the game, like changing the entire action economy or changing how leveling works, because originally you didn't have power, which you accrued to get skills and stuff. Originally it was just complete X amount of missions, you rank up to legendary, which makes your ability stronger.
Okay.
And so now we actually have like a pseudo experience system. Changes like that require a new edition.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
But if it's something like the infamous, dreaded PvP meta gladiator class that we have in the game, which I'll tell that story here in a minute if you want.
yeah, definitely.
I can just change that without having to go, okay, this is a new edition, hold on. It's just a balance rework for one class that players can play.
So tell me about this dreaded I mean,
Like, what is
you kind
this?
of built that up. You can't.
And I was
just
like,
leave
you have
that
to tell
there.
the story now.
So what happened was we had a bracketed PvP tournament in our Discord server. Everybody got 75 power, a certain amount of gold to build their character, and then we designated the brackets. Everybody fought. I was the MC of the event because nobody wants to fight my characters, understandably. And
Yeah. That makes
I kind of have the inside track on what's good.
Well, that.
So, with this freaking tournament, we discovered that there was very much a PvP meta.
Oh.
Over half of the people, like 5 of the 8 people involved, were playing Gladiator.
Yeah.
Oh,
Were they
dear.
playing Gladiator Orc?
A
No.
orc.
Golem was actually the more popular one because you you lose a little bit on speed, but you got 2 more hit points.
Ooh.
Oh.
Golem.
Not like golem, but like
Yeah.
golem.
Not sweet, huh?
Oh my
That was
gosh!
straight
That
up
was amazing! Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so and everybody, and of those 5 people, 3 of them were running a stun build.
Ooh.
Okay.
You stun and then you
And
get a hit.
Then run away.
well, the thing is that Toads always impresses me. He built a stun build, dual wielding a billy stick and a warhammer.
How?
He would legit go bonk.
Oh my gosh. That's like
Because
inward
Albadyn
done.
allows you to carry multiple weapons, so he would just use one attack to attack, one attack action to switch, and then powerful 3.
There you
Holy
go.
cow. That reminds me of one of the MMORPGs we played that was the zombie one, and I had the ridiculous hammer, and the sound that it made in the game was like so every time I would attack, and I'm a button masher, so it would do it like 17 times, and I'm like, it's dead! It's dead! Stop it!
What game was that one?
Yeah.
It was a horror one, and it was zombies, and like we ended up stopping watching it or playing it because it started making me sick.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up. I remember the game. I know the game, but I can't remember the name of it.
I just remember that sound. Anyway, sorry. Tangent. Hello.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just
Secret
enjoying
World.
the experience.
It was the Secret
Secret World. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It was a fun one. Nice mysteries and stuff like that. I just kind of got sick of the dripping flesh and the blood.
Yeah, that gets a little tedious after a while.
Now, I do have a question for you on this. You've got this PvP that you guys do. I know in a lot of TTRPGs, specifically I know in D&D and Pathfinder, there's a lot of GMs and DMs that don't do PvP.
Specifically.
But I guess in this world, because you don't actually die and like your character's dead, you always come back. It's not as big of a thing if you kill someone else's character.
Well, exactly. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons nobody likes fighting me is because they know you give me 75 power, and I'm gonna do something really broken.
Well, I mean, you're like the creator, so you're gonna know the system better than anybody else, hopefully.
Oh, exactly. Which is kind of a shame because I arguably built half of my characters. I've got like 12 characters at this point. I've arguably built half of them with PvP in mind.
Oh man.
And so I'm just sitting here like,
So would you say that you've created more of an action-based game or a role-playing based game? Combat, I guess.
it depends. It's more combat based. The rules are more oriented for combat.
Mhm.
But I do have one more story
Okay.
that showcases that it actually depends entirely on the players.
Okay.
The first time I got to play this with my mom, seriously, I'm the DM this time. The last time we had done anything like this, she was the DM, like I told y'all earlier.
Mhm.
And so it's my turn to DM. This is early 2nd edition. And she legit, with her mage, negotiates out of every single combat encounter I put in front of her. She talked her way out of it, talked the captain of the guard of the city into giving her the artifact that she wanted, and just walked out the front door.
Can I seduce the
No
dragon?
blood spilled.
I was about to say, that feels like a "Can I seduce the dragon" moment. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. So
Well, she threatened the man with paperwork, and it worked.
Well, this
She's
is
like,
where...
look, dude, we're gonna be here for hours if you do anything. So let's just...
Oh my god.
Cut the red tape.
And so she rolls the dice, and it's a 6, and I'm like... Considering his options, he goes, yeah, fair enough. It just gives it to you.
That's awesome. Why?
It was one of the highlights, man.
As the GM,
Director.
sorry, as the director, I apologize.
Either works fine.
You could have just like had him be convinced and then have somebody else come along and not be convinced.
That's not how I like doing things, though.
Okay. Because like
I
that
like
man will do
giving-
that to me every once in a while. Like, oh, and there's another monster.
I didn't...
For me...
Gosh, I still can't get over that. We play with
Sorry.
physical terrain and minis.
Oh, I love
And
that.
I had miscounted the number of minis I'd put out. And so I had one more on my initiative tracker than I actually had out there. So I'm like, oh, I forgot one. Put one out. And she's like, oh,
he
you just
says.
bring more out.
I'm just gonna suddenly be like, and I call my pet dragon. Sorry.
It suddenly becomes like our kids playing, make believe. But I've got a dragon killing Ray.
I've got a dinosaur that eats force field dogs.
That's great.
That's exactly
great.
what that is.
Yes,
Do you still play? Does your mom still play with you? Do you guys still play together?
When we have time, we're usually watching anime.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, that's also a.
Which brings up to
She...
the...
Oh, go ahead.
Which brings up the question then, what's your current anime you're watching?
We are currently watching Book of the Witch on Crunchyroll because we really loved Grimoire of Zero.
Yes.
Prior to that, we were watching Quintessential Quintuplets,
Ah.
and she watched through all of Naruto.
Oh my gosh! Really?
She's watching through all of Bleach. And that was all on her own time.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love it.
I'm rewatching My Hero Academia right now. And
That's
when
a
I
good
say
one.
right
That's a good
now,
one.
I mean I took a break because I found the TV show Alone, and I am now obsessed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
Naruto
it's so
and
good.
Bleach have so many episodes and so
I
many
know, they
fillers,
have the
complete
hundreds.
filler seasons for Bleach.
Oh, don't they? Aren't they in like both of those shows in the hundreds?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Naruto
400?
ran, I think, a total of like 600 episodes between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden.
Why?
And I
Why?
don't know Bleach. I don't know how many episodes Bleach has.
It's not that many, but it's about 200, I think.
Nice. Okay.
Neither one of them holds a candle to One Piece.
No, it doesn't.
Both
One
of
Piece-
them combined don't come up to One Piece.
No, I could never get into One Piece. For some reason, just didn't quite grab me out.
The
Well,
nerdiness
I
has
haven't
gotten
watched it
heavier
yet.
than I know understand anymore. You guys, I've watched like four animes.
I just got her into anime though in the last
Like,
year
yeah.
and a half. So
Well, my
He used to put on anime if I couldn't sleep because he knew that within one episode I'd be asleep. And now, like, I actively
is
watch
sweet.
it. I really enjoy it.
Love
Bleach
it.
has 300 plus, and it's back for more episodes. Why?
Wait, they brought Bleach back?
there is a new
There's
thing that
a
I've
lot
seen
of it
coming out.
in the grocery stores, so it's actually really easy to get. Bleach.
Oh, jeez. And with that, we need to start wrapping up the episode.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm very interested. You know, the system looks awesome. Again, it seems a very. It's not an overly complex system. It's not a hard one to learn. And you don't need to even have to go buy, expensive, D20s and things like that. Go buy a bunch of D6s from your, Dollar Tree or something like that, and you can jump into this. It is free.
The final arc with Thousand in Your Blood. Oh my gosh.
Bleach. There's the Bleach. But again, going to Legends of. I want you to say it.
All right, you can check us out at legendsofalbadyn.com. It's a super simple, super fun game. You can play it by yourself. You can play it with your friends. There's tons of stuff to do. We're always adding new content. Every 2 months a new season starts, except for this season because it's a bigger than usual event. It's a full game launch. And just always remember that you are the one who writes your legend. Don't let anybody take that from you.
Oh, I like that a lot. Now I feel bad, like, interrupting and not just ending now.
Hey, you're fine.
You just like keep saying really sweet things. Okay. So you can find the game on Legends of Albadyn.
Albadyn. Yep.
Okay, whatever. Oh my gosh. Okay, so legendofalbadyn.com. You can also find them on Twitter at Studios Ridge. And they're amazing sauce. Do you have a YouTube channel too?
Yep.
Yes.
Dragon Ridge Studios on YouTube.
Awesome. So go find them at all of those amazing places. And then we are going to be dark on Friday, just as a reminder, because Weston is being very sweet and he's taking the boys out for a camping trip.
Yes, we are.
That is
Friday
awesome.
night for fathers and sons. It's going to be wonderful. Wednesday night, we have our amazing show with Lost Tribes Gaming, where we're talking about gaming with kids. We're going to have Mark Hansen on and Steph C from TTRPG Kids, which is going to be an amazing experience. Remember that, actually don't remember, forget what I just said. We are really close to 400 followers. So if you are not currently following, but you are watching and enjoying our content, please feel free to follow us here on this channel, because we're really close.
Because there's always quality content on here. I've never come by and been disappointed.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna snip that and play it on all of our stuff.
She's right there, her new ringtone. She's listening.
I'm just listening to that every time somebody calls me, and nobody calls me, so it's fine.
I feel attacked.
Nobody calls me. No, everybody texts me. I should have it in my text.
There you go.
Because I get text messages up the wazoo. But yeah, so go ahead and follow here if you feel so inclined. And remember that we love you. And you say it this time.
Do I say it this time?
You said, I gave you a little look.
Oh, it only takes two.
Good night, you guys.
So let's go ahead and let's raid real quick. We're going to raid into Talking
I forget
XP.
that we're pirates.
They've got a game going on right now, so we're going to go and we're going to see what they're doing. So join the raid.
Give them lots of love.
Give them lots of love. Let's join the raid together, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Wednesday! At 8 p.m.
And raiding in 3, 2, 1, and here we go.
Go.